Hi there, I hope you're doing great. I'm Ellen from the Charlton Allen Academy, and today we are going to do a little mini workshop about how you can personalize one of our patterns. In fact, I encourage you to personalize any of them. If you don't like a certain color code that I've added or used, feel free to use whatever color you love. The whole point, the whole mission with doing creative arts is that you find joy in doing it. And if there is an aspect of something that you realize makes you blocked in the pursuit of actually making, then just tweak it a little bit, right? Also, if you do find that it's a little bit difficult to sometimes get creative and create your own, not necessarily your own designs, but just add your own touch, then it's perfect to start out with a base design and thereafter add some personalizations to it. It's a great first step to really start pushing yourself in your creativity and realizing that, hey, you actually have more autonomy to make this as you like than you might think you have. So this design here is the Alpine Cabin. It's a design in the pattern program, which is included in our Charles & Ellen Academy membership. You can check it out below. It's available through that February in the membership. After that, we will be uploading it to our unique pattern shop, which you can also find below with all of our different patterns, or all of them aren't uploaded there yet. So if you want to be the first to get the new designs, then the Academy is definitely the place to be. Um, this particular one, I designed it as a base, still a bit of a creative base, because you might see here these sections of shadow. It's a little bit of thread sketching techniques included in here. I'll add a link to an article about thread sketching. I also have a full workshop, an introduction workshop, as well as a full masterclass on it. The masterclass is still in development. The fact Like, one of the things I love about the online courses is that they are always expanding. I'm always able to add more information in there in relation to and response to your questions, etc. But hey, let's just dive in. Let's continue. And I'm going to show you just a little fun personalization to make this pop a little bit more, this design. We will talk about thread sketching in another video than this one. Just in general, if you do find it a bit overwhelming, think about just regular straight stitches. You make regular straight stitches in one direction, which you are then able to overlap on top. I'll bring it up a little bit closer so that you can see how I have layered some straight, diagonal straight stitches and simply just shifted the direction in order to create a bit more variety and depth. What I want to do now is to add a little bit more sense of snow, right? So these are skis lying right here. So I'm imagining that this whole part here, as well as these mountains, are in fact snowy. You might want to do what I did with a previous design at the end of the year, where I painted using white acrylic paint on the fabric. It made the Sacré-Cœur look almost like it was all snowy and gorgeous. You could do that. You can definitely add white fabric paint or acrylic paint here. But I'm going to add some stitches with full strand. That means 6 strands of my floss. Oh, sorry, I just threaded it and then pulled it out again. There we go. And I'm just going to play around again with straight stitches. You can use straight stitches in infinite ways. And I will start adding it along the borders. So oftentimes in illustration, you don't necessarily need to fill out a whole space in order to give the impression that everything is filled out. Let me explain that again. If you fill out with a certain color along the corners, along the edges of a certain area that you would like to have filled with a certain color, your brain is so magical that it kind of fills out the rest of the space for you, meaning that you don't necessarily have to add this perfectly neat surface or everything covered in thread painting. many times it's enough to hint as to what you want a certain area to to be like, what color you would like it to have. So simply by just starting adding a few stitches here, I'm stitching relatively quickly just so that you're able to see as much result as possible within a relatively short time frame. Now, stitching is everything but a quick fix. It's a slow art form, but for the purpose of just making not a full masterclass here, but a little bit more quick and very straight to the point workshop, I'll do quite quick stitches. And you can see that I am very intuitively placing my stitches. I don't have a set direction where it has to be in this way. I'm also overlapping my stitches a little bit droite à gauche, like so how we would say that in English, a bit left and right. All right. I jumped over this little, skip this little area where I have added shade, and I'm again just hinting that there is snow lying down there as well as I continue to add some more. Now, why did I choose to do 6 strands as opposed to just one like I have for all of the contours as well as the shaded areas? Well, it's because 6 strands will fill the surface, will cover the surface also much quicker. So you will be able to not only add a little bit of a 3D effect because it pops out more. Let's see from this side, you can see how there is a bit more texture right here where it's thicker floss or more number of strands. It's a thicker thread. So not only is it adding some more 3D effect and texture, but it's also filling out the area quicker in general, really. To fill surface with single strands or even just 2 strands is very time consuming. The results are absolutely stunning and gorgeous. I'm not saying anything else. But depending on what stage of life you're in, what season, also your level of investment, because I know that many of you who are stitching our designs are doing so in a way to relax, unwind a little bit at the end of a long day. And then it can feel quite heavy to have a massive, like a big surface that needs to be covered with these tiny, tiny, tiny thin stitches. It might feel overwhelming and you might not do it. So the goal here is really to find ways to incorporate creativity in your everyday life in a way that feels manageable, in a way that makes you feel that you can actually do this. All right, my floss is soon running out, but just with one, and now I cut it just roughly the length of my underarm, and I've already done quite some advancement, and we can you start to see now, this is so cool. You start to see how just adding a few stitches immediately enhances, makes the shade, makes the mountains pop out a bit more, and gives the impression that there is in fact just tons of snow here. Another thing that happens when you get stuck in the mindset that you have to fill a certain area completely is that you actually, probably without intention, make it a little bit flat. So a less quote unquote perfect image where the stitches are a bit more widely placed is actually going to feel much more vivid, feel like there's much more depth, things going on, compared to having these perfectly filled out surfaces. So this is really another level, another way of looking at embroidery as an art form more than just a craft. This is really a medium to express arts and create illustrations in some way, touchable illustrations. I'll attach my floss. Let's have a look. I'm really, really pleased already just with adding a little bit. did not need much more than that. Now you can go ahead and continue add in a little bit of white around here. Let's actually just, now that I've got you with me, let's add just a couple of white stitches as well around the skis. Make a knot at the other end. Really, again, as a suggestion that this is in fact snow right here. Oop, made a little knot behind. You see here, I don't need to add many stitches for it to already have the same effect as well. There we go. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this quick mini workshops of how you can personalize a design or just adapt it a little bit, because this white parts here are not included in the pattern, or it's not, there are no directions exactly of how to do it. This is really a way to encourage you to just experiment, try, see how you can expand on any of the designs that are already available to you, and to really just push your creativity and see that possibilities are endless. I really hope you found this fun, inspiring, all of the things. If you want to have this particular pattern, it's available in the Charles and Academy, the pattern program, right below here until the end of February. And after that, it will retreat, it will go in pension. No, it will get out of the membership and it will get onto our website as soon as we are able to get that sorted. There are actually many, many patterns that needs to still get up there. So the best place to get it soonest is in the membership. And otherwise, if you want to browse through different patterns that we've got from all over, I was going to say Europe, the majority of the patterns are from Europe, but we've got patterns from other places in our beautiful world as well. Just browse through and check. I think we've got about 100 in there now. So there's a lot of stuff to enjoy and stitch. Now, until the next one, bye bye.